Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to the Star Nations organization's main fan page, where this is the Spiritual Roundtable. It's about a spiritual conversation about the divination cards that are drawn in the morning. It tells us all about the energy that's flowing for today. Yeah, it's one of the best things in my day is to have a conversation with you all, a spiritual conversation. I think so. Today is, Tuesday, July 16th. Yeah, and here in Wisconsin, in Toma, where I live, it's hot. hot. And muggy. Yeah. But it is summer, right? And can't complain too much because pretty soon it'll be winter, it'll be December, and we'll be complaining it's too cold. As my dad would say, gee, you're never satisfied. So today is all about the divination cards that I drew this morning. And what we're looking at today is the combination of the cards. We've had these cards before, but we're looking at the meaning for us today about Father, Son, the big winds, moon, and also wisdom. Okay, those are the three cards for today. And when we get to the point of showing the cards and sharing about what they look like and what they feel like and what even the author has to say about them especially, and what the artwork looks like on them. So I wanted to welcome everybody, especially those that are in the live chat. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. And those that are in the recorded chat, right, that you're going to be watching the recording. If you have questions or anything like that, please post them in the comment, and I will try to get to you as soon as I can, okay, to answer your questions. You know what? There's one thing that I haven't mentioned in a long time, and that's loving and liking the live stream. So if you wouldn't mind clicking the likes or clicking the heart, that would be so cool, and I really do appreciate it. What I'm going to do right now is I am going to send the show over to my newsfeed, just to remind my friends that I am live streaming. So I've got my phone right here. It's just going to take me a second. As long as my quick keys are there, it's all good. Here we are. So I'm loving the show, and I'm going to share it. And I'm going to share it over to my newsfeed. We're trying to change that word share to something else. Sprinkling, spreading. But anyway, I'm gonna send it over so my friends remember that I am live streaming. And then I'm going to ask them if they want to come out and play. Join the conversation in the live chat. There we go. Put a little emoticon on there. If I'm asking you guys to send hearts, I should send hearts too, right? And where's that? There it is. There. That's good. And I know Stephanie is in the house, and Stephanie is going to share it over to our other groups and our other pages. Thank you, Stephanie. That's really very helpful. I remember not too long ago, I was doing all of that by myself, and it would take a little while to share it out to all the groups and all the pages. So it's good to have Stephanie in the house. I'm going to check to see who is here, because I know Stephanie is. She's listing all the things that we're doing here at Star Nations. If you're interested in any of the things that we have going on, it's all listed in the comment section. You can read it in your own leisure. And who do we have here? Rob's here. He says their idea of the word differs from Midwesterners. Whoops, I missed something. I got to back up. Yeah. Yep. Scrolling, and more scrolling. Let's see. Here we go. And I think this is Stephanie. Whoops. Stephanie is saying, heart us up if you appreciate our broadcasts and want to see more of them. Thank you, Stephanie. Heart us up. That's right. Heart us up. In fact, I'm going to do that. I've got my phone. I can send a couple of hearts. And I'm scrolling back up to what Rob had to say. Their ideas differ. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I think I missed something. Yeah. Oh, muggy. Don't say muggy to a New Yorker. This is true. This is true. Yeah, let's just say that it's uncomfortable actually out there. If we're those of us who are used to cooler weather, right, and a little bit drier. Donna, hey Donna, good to have you here. Aw, look at the kitty. I love your profile. Hello, Julie Shumway Hill. It's always good to have you in the house. Yeah, good. So, we got lots going on here. It's Tuesday. I call it Terrific Tuesday because here at Star Nations we usually have multiple shows on Tuesday. And today we have 3 of them for you. One at noon at Eastern Time, which was Polly Joe's show, Chakra Sessions. I don't know if you caught that show, but if you didn't, my suggestion is to go back and watch the replay, the recorded version of it, because let me tell you, she talked about ascension symptoms and relationships during Mercury retrograde and how our communication is kind of not very direct, for one thing, but when you mix it with the ascension stuff that we're going through because of all the cosmic things, it really does add something to the ride. It gets a little rocky, doesn't it? But if you're interested in that, my suggestion is to go back and listen to that. Okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about these cards because we've had these cards before multiple times. And whenever that happens, I don't know if you guys have noticed in your own lives, right? Whenever spirit keeps showing you the same thing over and over and over again, obviously they're trying to get our attention about something that's much more or much deeper than what we have thought it was or felt it was, okay? So we're gonna dive in today. We're gonna go and try to get to the root of what they're showing to us today. All right. It has been, everybody knows I have a puppy, right? His name is George. And he's such a good boy. He really is. But his hair is everywhere and it always gets caught in my lipstick and I don't know why. Of course, if I wasn't kissing him, probably it wouldn't happen. Yeah, those who have pets that have fur, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to turn off the crawler because that's kind of distracting. All right, I put my name back up. There we go. All right, so the first card, the cards that we got today, we've had before, and practically in this combination. Father, Son, Big Winds, Moon, and Wisdom. Okay? So, all right. So what I'm being asked to ask you guys is if you haven't done your grounding today, okay? If you haven't done your grounding today, please pause and do your grounding because it's going to be helpful when we get into the meaning of the cards and the interpretation of the cards, right? The essence of them, for us to be grounded, so that we can really take in the information in an optimal way. All right. So if you haven't done your grounding today, my suggestion, please, is to take a moment right now and get grounded. Okay? Because I think we're going to be going a little bit deeper than what we have been. All right. Donna says, feeling a big energy wave coming to many people soon. What's your thoughts? It's actually here is what I feel, Donna. Many of us who are very sensitive to earth energies and also to those energies coming from the eclipses and the retrogrades, and it's already here. And actually, there's many people who've actually been feeling it for weeks already. Yeah, and we've been talking about it here for quite a while. And I agree with you. It is a huge energy, and it's energy that we can certainly tap into, all right, to do our own shift of consciousness, right? I think that we're being prepared. This is my feeling. We're being prepared for that next move in vibration. And for some, it's actually a full octave practically, right? And others, it's remembering how to hold that higher frequency for longer periods of time to the point where it's just your life, right? And so that's my feeling anyway. I don't know if that you have the same feeling or not, Donna, but I do agree with you that there is some big energy afoot. Did you get that, Rob? I said afoot. Yes, I do have a dog, and he's actually sleeping right now. He's such a good boy. All right. So I gave you just a moment to be able to do your grounding. So here's the first card. Father, Son. Right? It's all about direction, illumination, active growth. It's in the third stone placement on the medicine wheel. Father, Son. And if we take a look at the card, we have 3 eagle heads, right? And we also have an illustration, a depiction of the sun. And some might call that the sun god, right? If you're familiar with the Hopi Nation or the Navajo Nation, they use a lot in their artwork and their language, really, about the sun god. Yeah. And for me, 3 in numerology, for me, is about the Ascended Masters. And it's also a rather sacred feminine card because of the curves, right? Of the curves. And so with the Ascended Masters, they bring us in information. They're our highest teachers in spirit. They've already been through this physical life thing, and have reached a point of the ascension process, right? Is getting to their highest vibration. Yeah. And with the sun, it's about illumination. It's about illumination. Okay. Stephanie just sent me a message. I have to do a little posting. Pause, put a bookmark in. Sorry about that. It's okay. I'm going to do it. Okay. All right. I have to send the show over to a certain spot that Stephanie is having problems getting to, and we really need to be able to send it over there. So it's just going to take me a moment here. There we go. Okay. In the live chat. There we go. Okay, it's done to one of them, Steph. We're going to have to be okay with that. All right. There. At least it's one of them. Okay. Back to Father, Son. Now, see, here with Father, Son, It's about the illumination, right? It's about being able to see, our shadow selves, shining the light on that part of us, right? It's showing us what else is there for us to recognize, acknowledge, begin to work toward healing it, resolving it. And when we do that, we shed or clear debris, right, from our vibration. And in the process, we're also going through a life lesson, which means that we gain the wisdom from that. But with this particular card today, my feeling is that the illumination, illuminating our path, illuminating what is the most important for us to turn our attention to, so that we can be in an active growth cycle, right? So we're tapping into that energy of the sun. And look at all the eclipses that we're going through this month, right? Yeah. So we have an opportunity, and we still have free will, right? So if you really don't want to go through the life lessons that are around all of that and the healing portion of it, you don't have to, but you're also slowing down and what you're here to do, right? Yeah, fulfilling your soul contract. And so we have the opportunity to do that. And for those of you who are believe in the goddess, right? Celtic, Druidry, paganism, over on across the pond, with the three, we have Mother, Maiden, Crone, right? Mother, Maiden, Crone. So it's a very feminine quality as well. That's why I was getting through at the three. And so we might want to balance out, because Father Son obviously is a very masculine energy, right? Very masculine energy. So then when we're turning our attention to what is being illuminated, is to use our sacred feminine energy for that, which means it's nurturing, it's compassionate, it's caring, right? And so we don't have to be aggressive with it. We don't have to be aggressive with it. We can be assertive, but we don't have to be aggressive. So whatever that is for you, what is Father Son illuminating for you? And most of us, if we're just quiet just for a moment and we turn our mental mind to it, right? Our focus to it, the first thing that pops into your mind is what we need to work on. Right? Yeah. Rather than getting it all complicated and we have to think about, how the hows and whys and all of that. Not in this moment. In this moment is just identifying it, because it's being illuminated. So we're being offered an opportunity, a gift in the illumination. And what happens when our path is illuminated? We can see it really clearly, right? And so we know what direction to go in. So if your path is being illuminated by Father Son through this card, and you're looking at, you're thinking, I don't know, I don't think I'm on the right path, or I need to maybe take the left rather than the right part of the path, right? It's illuminating your path. And so you can see it quite clearly. Now, I know some people are probably thinking, I don't see anything. It's not really being seen with your physical eyes. It's being seen with your inner sight, right? Yeah. I'm going to check on the chat. Hang on just a minute. And Stephanie saying, "Oh no, I know. I saw your message come through." Yeah. Hey, I like that name, Lance Jojo. Hello there. Are you doing readings? Not individual readings. Not individual readings. I do the card draw for the group, and we talk about that. We share about what the messages are coming through for the group. Okay. And Rob is saying these cards are group cards. Oh, good. Thank you, Rob, for sharing that. And there's Elaine. Hello, Elaine. Welcome. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable. Good. Okay. So, Father, Son, Illumination. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, there may be some of us that are working through father issues, right? Yeah. Our parental issues with our father, with our dads, right? Even though you want to believe that everything was just fine, there's some of us that kind of repress that or suppress it, right? We kind of move it off to the side. And it's a possibility that there's some of us that need to address those hurt feelings, right? That might have happened decades ago, and we never dealt with it, right? It's possible that it's being illuminated for us, right? Yeah. And remember that, it's all about balance too, right? So if we're balancing out a very strong masculine energy of the sun, that when you address those items that are being illuminated for you, is to draw on your sacred feminine energy and come at it with more nurturing, more love, more compassion. Be kind to yourself. Okay, it doesn't have to be a battle, is what they're saying. It doesn't have to be a battle, but you can be assertive. And you can actually set boundaries too, for other people and for yourself. And I have to say, I just from personal experience is that when we set boundaries, if we set our boundaries from a place of love rather than a place of fear, they're stronger boundaries, and they don't draw on our personal energy to keep them in place, right? Yeah, because we're better off using that energy to actually resolve the fear, right? To face it and to heal and to release. Yeah. Okay. So I got to look at the time here. This author, Linda Iwashina, of this deck, and it's called The Spirit of the Wheel. Probably could show it. This is the name of the deck we're using. Spirit of the Wheel. Author is Linda Iwashina. Illustrated by Jody Bergsma. Copyright 2006. Okay. All right. So Linda, the author, what she does with each card is she writes a prayer. And they're really, really good. I mean, they're touching. And so I would like to share this one with you about Father Son. She says, "Help me, Great Spirit, to recognize my inner light so that I may project positive, loving energy out into the world and work towards achieving my goals with clear direction." So that you may project positive, loving energy out into the world and work towards achieving your goals with clear direction. And you have a lot of eagle medicine working with that. A lot of eagle medicine. And, and in the indigenous world, we call that big medicine. We believe that the eagle flies closest to the creator, highest and closest to the creator, and is the emissary between us two-leggeds, us humans, and the creator, and takes our prayers to the creator. And so we have 3 of them here to do that work for us, right? To be our helpers, our ally. So, and here's a good question for those that are in the chat. Is that, do you feel that the sun is illuminating a shadow part of yourself that you haven't dealt with yet? Or perhaps one that you have been dealing with, but you have been ignoring it, saying, I really don't want to look at you. I really don't want to see you. Most of us do. Most of us do. But sometimes just in the acknowledgement that it's there moves it forward. In other words, we can't hide from it. It's being illuminated. It's being illuminated. So we may as well say, yep, I see you. There you are again, right? Hey, Julie's here. Hello, Julie. Good afternoon. Oh, you're at the dentist. Julie is one of our live stream show hosts here at Star Nations. Her show was just last night. Yeah, the Tarot Journey. And it was kind of a bit about this, the illumination. It's illuminating active growth and direction. Okay, we're going to move on to the second card. And the way that I do my card reads is that the second and third card, or the subsequent cards, support what is being shared with us or shown to us in the first card. Okay, so here's the second one. You guys that watch the show regularly will recognize this guy. Right? This is Big Wind's Moon. Big Wind's Moon. Big cat. It's about leadership, self-discipline, and psychic abilities. It's the 18th stone in the placement or the creation of the medicine wheel, which is a 9 in numerology. And 9s are all about completion. It's all about completion. This particular card, when the last time we had quite the discussion about self-discipline. Right? And I want to share with you a bit about what the author has to say about this card, because I think it's pretty powerful, is what she says. She says, this card signals a time when your own psychic abilities are very strong. Your intuitions are very much in tune with your higher self. Allow this connection to help you on your path. You have procrastinated long enough. Stop self-sabotaging, as it's not only limits your potential, but feeds your insecurities. You're lacking in self-discipline. And she says, call upon the courage of the Big Wind's Moon to see your dreams and vision through to the end. Channel your creative inspiration and learn to flow with the spiritual energies around you. Take your place of power. She also goes on to say to learn to trust in the Creator's plan, the divine plan. Right? And so when I reread the information this morning about this card, connected to the Father-Son card, right? This is what I got from it. is that in the illumination, we're being given the opportunity to identify what we need to work on, what we need to heal, and so that we clear away even more debris even at a deeper depth than what we've done in the past. Okay, and when we do that, we do need a measure of self-discipline. We do need a measure of self-discipline to get us to the completion of it, right? Because how many of us have started something and never finished it? I mean, how many projects, right, have you got in a closet somewhere, in storage someplace that you've started but never finished? I know I do. I have a knitting project that I have never finished. And so we have the opportunity to really take a look at that. And we can call on our spiritual team to help us with that self-discipline. They, ask them, show me how I can stick with this. I really want to finish this. What's my best route to do that? What are my gifts that I need to pull forward to be able to complete this? Because as Donna was saying, there's this big energy that's here right now, okay? And we're being given the opportunity to really have a lot of soul growth come from it, so that we remember, because we already know how to do it, so we remember how to hold that higher vibration, that higher frequency for longer periods of time, so that we're vibrating and changing the vibration around us, shifting it. It's a shift in consciousness. Right? Yeah, so it's big. It's big, big. And when we do that, we also, because we learn to trust in the Creator and in ourselves, our intuition, right? Is that our abilities, our psychic abilities, are also growing, expanding, right? Yep. Did you see that? That's my husband. He borrowed my car and he's just returning it. There we go. The psychic abilities. So, it's when I say that it's a gift, right? It truly is. Because we get to be more of our true selves. We get to be more of our original vibration that we came in with. Yeah. I'm just going to skip over to the chat and see and get caught up with you guys here. Donna says, in numerology, I've been told this is the most significant number for me. This card really hit me. Oh, Donna, those are those light bulb moments, right? Those aha moments, right? That's good. Thank you for sharing that. And Julie is saying, what a powerful being in the big winds moon card. I know, right? That big cat, looking right at us. And for those that are really connected to that feline energy, it carries quite a lot of energy for a lot of people, right? Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Julie. She says, big winds here, storms blustering and blowing every couple of hours, clears up, then we get angry, great. Oh, really? It's hot and sunny here. All right, so here's the prayer that goes with this card. It says, I am ready, Spirit, to share the bounty of my life with others. I call upon the energies of the big winds moon for the courage to be a leader and to use my abilities wisely for the good of the whole. Now, in that leadership, when we've done our healing work, when we've identified what's been illuminated for us, and we start to heal it, to resolve it, release it, to get it cleared out, right? So we make energetic room for more positive things to be there, right? Okay. So when we're tapping into our gifts that we came in with even more, we're learning how to remembering how to master them, how to use them. And we're believing in ourselves more and more, trusting our own intuition, right? Our psychic abilities. Yeah. That it changes our lives. And many times you don't even have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. And people will recognize you. They'll sense your energy. And they will turn to you for assistance, right? You become a leader in your community. And it's not in the old sense, in the old world, in the old vibration leadership, right? It's about being nurturing and compassionate. It's about willing to offer assistance to someone else. And even if it is just in your actions matching your words, your integrity, right? Being a role model. Yeah. So that's another good question. How do you define leadership in this new vibration? Because perhaps, think about this, perhaps this shift in consciousness is how we define those kinds of words such as leadership. Because in the old world, that definition isn't going to be able to hold up in the new vibration. Mm-mm. It's more along the lines of servant leadership. And even that is rather out of sync. Yeah, it needs to be expanded, upgraded, something like that. Yeah, leadership. So how do you define leadership for yourself? I know, and some people might not think of themselves as leaders, right? But in the new world, in the new age, in that new vibration, the chances of you being a leader, however you define that for yourself, is the probability is pretty high. The probability is pretty high. Even if it's, it has everything to do with our gifts that we came in with. The more often we apply them, the more often we use them, and we get to hone them and master them, that's where our leadership lies. You know why? Because our soul is expressed through those gifts. Our soul is expressed through our gifts here in the physical world. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but I find that really exciting. I do. Hey, Bobby. Bobby's here. She said, "Hi, sweet lady. Just back after 2 weeks solo with young grandkids. Definitely feeling the gifts of being a role model." Well, good for you. Oh man, all those memories that you created for your grandchildren in those 2 weeks. How cool is that? All right, we're going to move on to the third card, which is wisdom. It's a spirit path of the East. Spirit path of the East. It's wisdom. So number 33, 33rd stone in the creation of the medicine wheel. 33 is a master number, and it's all about the ascended masters and ascension. Right? It's a very feminine number. It's about the universal law, learning and sharing. You know, and if we take a look at this, there's another eagle. Now, to me, that was a golden eagle, just in the coloring. Right? And of course, you know, there's the two women on this card. Talk about feminine. We have the crone and we have the woman, the mother and the crone, the elder and the mother. So we have experience here, right? We have two women who have experienced life, gathered their wisdom. We also have the symbol for the four directions or the medicine wheel. And I'm not quite sure what that is in the center. It looks like to me like a kachina. Mosquitoes. Yeah, it looks like to me. Okay, so if you take a look at that image that's right in the center of the card, right? And in one respect, it reminds me of a horned, it's got horns on the top of his head, outstretched arms. Right? But it also kind of reminds me of a tree as well. Yeah, I think that okay. I'm being told it's a star beam. It's a star beam. Kachina, a star beam. So we're talking about a universal law here, about wisdom. When we've gained our wisdom, that means that we've done some healing work, right? It means that we have cleared away debris. We have released and made room for the positive energy to come in. We've learned a lot from that life lesson. And that means we also have made it through the integration piece, right? The wisdom isn't in the integration piece. The integration phase is about us contemplating and spending time with what occurred and how it occurred and what we learned from it, what we drew from it, right? The wisdom comes when we take that experience and we start applying it to our life. We're actually using it. That's our wisdom. Yeah. In the contemplation part of it, which is a really, really important phase, don't shortcut that one. You know, it takes what it takes. The time that it takes to get through it is what it takes. The bigger the soul growth or expansion, the longer the integration. And that's only from my personal experience. Okay. So the universal law about wisdom is that we had the gift of learning something. We had the gift of learning something. And when we've reached that point, George just hit the table, reached the point of gathering that wisdom and applying it, right? It's in the application of the wisdom is the sharing. So if you directly share with somebody about your experience and the wisdom that you gained from it, what you learned from it, that's really good. But sometimes it's even subtler than that. Sometimes you just mention some, in passing to someone. Or, they're watching and they can see how you're living your life and they want to have a life similar to that. And so you're a role model. Iced tea. Oh, hello there. Shake? Tell me how to pronounce your name, please. That would be nice. I'll learn something today, right? Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable. All right. So, with this wisdom, this is what the author says about this card. She says, according to the universal law, you are in a position to reach something of value. Balance the scales of spiritual justice by sharing your gift of wisdom with others when the right moment arises. Remember, wisdom in all its power always leads us to further enlightenment. So, we never really stop learning, right? We never get that mosquito. We never really stop learning until we're done with this physical life. Yeah. So we're constantly learning, constantly growing, constantly expanding, gathering as much wisdom as we possibly can, as we agreed to in our soul contract. Because then, we take that soul growth with us. We take that wisdom with us from lifetime to lifetime. From lifetime to lifetime. Oh my goodness. Okay, so how about this? Wisdom. We have gained wisdom from one lifetime to another, from one past life, from other parallel lives to this life. And we have the capability and the ability, right, to pull that wisdom from other lives into this one. And how do you do that? Turn to your spiritual team. Have a conversation with them. Ask them to show you the wisdom that you've gained in other lives that would be helpful in this lifetime to get through this life lesson, to face what's being illuminated for you by Father, Son, and ask them to help you to bring that wisdom into the present moment, into the present time. For that to be a part of your growth in this lifetime. Because then you're doing it consciously. You're doing it consciously. That's consciously living your life. Right? And so your spiritual team will show you how to do that. Maybe it's a prayer that they're going to give you. Perhaps it's they'll come to you in a dream. It might be in one of those mundane moments of just doing the dishes or vacuum cleaning, and all of a sudden you're going to go, oh, I could do that, or I could do this. And you've never had an experience with it before. That's because it came from another lifetime, right? We can do that. It's almost like, I talked about this with Polly Joe some time ago, is that it almost feels like, and this was like 2 years ago, is that our experiences from different lifetimes, right, is collapsing into this life. And it felt like I was given this image of the nesting dolls, or those portable drink cups. I'm probably dating myself here. I don't even know if they make them anymore, but they would crunch down and you could expand them up and it'd be a cup. And if you put it down, you could easily store it, like in your handbag or in your backpack or something. But that was the feeling I had, that those past lives, those parallel lives, were all coming into the present moment. And so when that happened, we can gather all of the wisdom that we've already gained consciously into this lifetime. It's a very powerful moment, right? And it can be, and to be so grateful for it, because it can help learn the lesson that you're working on so that you can experience that soul growth from that experience. That makes sense? I don't know. Hello, Jen. Yeah, that's right. All around the round table, right? Yeah, it's like pass the, I don't know, pass the cream and the stevia for my coffee, right? Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Stephanie. Questions and comments are always welcome. And what's really even welcome is to hit the like and the hearts. I'm gonna do that. Get my phone. I'm gonna send out you guys a couple of hearts there. There you go. There's some hearts from me. Um, Jen is saying, really enjoying this. Thank you. You're welcome. Well, these cards that came today, we've had before, and I really felt when I was talking to my team this morning about it, is that we're to take this much deeper and to talk about that illuminating that shadow part so that we can identify it and to work to resolving it, right? Healing it, releasing it. And then as I was putting the cards away, this card fell out. Cleansing, spirit path of the north. It's about releasing burdens, detoxification, and energy flow. And we've had this card several times as well in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And so with this card, I really feel that spirit is telling us is that in detoxifying, in other words, removing the toxins, whatever that is being illuminated for you is like a toxin. And that there's ways to be able to detoxify it. And to be able to do that, many times it's about releasing a burden. Releasing a burden. Something that you've been carrying around. Maybe for decades in this lifetime, or perhaps it's from lifetime to lifetime. So it could be that's what's being illuminated for you is this burden. And many times it's a mental process that affects our emotions, right? So detoxifying. And that's what they were showing me. And once we get into the energy flow, we stop resisting the releasing of the burden. We stop resisting detoxifying. Because those detox, I've been doing a liver detox and liver healing for 7 months now, something like that. Yeah. And at first it was like, oh my God, this is a lot to it. But it is part of my lifestyle now. So Donna's saying, this affirmed many feelings for me. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Donna. I appreciate you sharing that too. Now, here's something that we do with these cards is that I will show you all 3 of them all at the same time. And what we found to be helpful, there's that mosquito again. What we found to be helpful is to take a nice deep breath in. And you're calling your team to you first. Call your team to you and your entire team. Take the nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, asking them to help you to take in the information, the energy, the essence of the message, the cards, that's meant for you, for your highest good and the highest good of all, and to be able to take it in an optimal way, in an optimal amount for you. Okay. So here are the 3 cards. Nice deep breath in. Okay, you got your team with you. On the exhale, you're asking them to help you to take in as much of the information as you possibly can with all of your senses, right? All of your senses. So if there's, no, delete that if, whatever it is being illuminated for you, on your path that needs to be cleared away, released, resolved, healed, ask that be shown to you. And if you want, you can even ask your team to show you how to pull the wisdom from other lives in that would help you most with this healing, this clearing. Right? And whatever they show you is to take into consideration the discipline that it's going to take to see it to the end, to the completion, the number 9, the completion. You can even ask your team to show you how you can best do that, to ensure that you finish right. And that way, when you do the finish, you can have the universal law of learning and sharing your wisdom. In other words, you'll be able to apply your wisdom that you've gained from your experience, from learning that life lesson. Right? Okay. Wow. As one of my nieces would say, we got some work to do. She was so little at the time. She's in her late 30s, early 40s now, I think. I think she's 39. And she was just really little. We'd be rolling up her sleeves. Auntie, we've got some work to do. And we do. We do. Energetically roll up your sleeves and say, okay, let's get to it. Right? We're tapping into the energies of the Mercury retrograde and the eclipses. And that means the sun and the moon, right? The earth energies. Be sure you're grounded. Please remember to ground while you're doing this work. It's going to make it so much easier for you. You know, ground morning and evening. Okay? Yeah, I know. You're right, Donna. Powerful cards, I know. And I want to thank you for being with me this afternoon today, because some of you, it's evening where you're at, or morning. And I wanted to thank you for being with me today. I enjoy our conversations. I enjoy sharing this time with you and hanging out with my peeps. I am very grateful for your support of Star Nations. I don't know if many of you know this, but we have 14 shows every month, live stream shows for you. This one is just one of that. But we have 14 shows for you. And Star Nations, you know, we have a belief. And that belief is that we're all interconnected. We're all a part of the universe together. We're unified. We're in that, we can be in the unified field as much as we want to be. Yeah. And it's about all our relations, right? It's about all our relations. In the Lakota language, it would be Mitakuyasin. In the Potawatomi language is what I am, it's where I'm enrolled at, is Yage Nagonan. That means all my relatives. And that's you. You're all my relatives. And so thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. I was going to get into what shows are coming up. It's already at the top of the hour. You want to join me tonight? Please. I'm going to be talking about and sharing about the highlights and the backstory to the July issue of Star Nations magazine. It's always very interesting to publish a magazine when you're on the cusp of the Mercury retrograde and during eclipses. It's always a ride. So you can join me at 8 p.m. tonight Eastern Time for Communications from Home. That's my weekly evening show. Tomorrow night, you can join us for Soul Connections, which is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's an evening of divine healing and messages. If you like to have a card reading and a mini card reading, single card, Polly Jo draws cards at the second half of that show. And she will draw cards until everybody who wants one receives one. Okay? And so that's at 8 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, Thursday. Thursday is Spiritual Mysteries of Life with Connie Shearwater, and she is one of our elders here at Star Nations. And she talks about the spiritual mysteries of life. And I'm telling you, I always have something to write with, because there's always something that she says that is one of those, oh, that's so good. I got to write that down. And we don't know. She might do some channeling work during her show as well. And it's really up to that. We never know when that's going to happen. So those are just a few things that are happening here at Star Nations for you. And I hope you can join us. With that, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and Bama Mina. That's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.